Roston Chase, the player of the tournament in the 2021 CPL, of course, for the second straight year, having to be played in one location. But Roston, it would appear as though if that had an effect on some people, it certainly didn't have an effect on you because last year, the first time that happened, you had a pretty good season with the St. Lucia Zooks at the time. And now this year, you've gone even better. Congratulations. Well done.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
So, we know Roston Chase, the test cricketer, the first-class cricketer, even the one international cricketer, very measured in his approach and Mr. Reliable. Some time ago, I think we used to call you a crisis man or something like that, they told me, because you're Mr. Reliable. You will come in and you will save the day when things are not going well. But now we've got Roston Chase, a top T20 cricketer. What has brought about that transition?
For me, I'm a cricketer. I don't want to be labeled as a first-class cricketer or a test cricketer or any cricketer. I just want to be labeled as a cricketer and a good cricketer. So for me, it is not really a hard transition. It's just to basically read the situation of the game and what's required of me at that point in time and to try to do it as best as possible.
So you actually had to go through a lot of maybe even mental preparation or physical preparation to bring about that transition. I mean, we don't know you to be a six-hitter, but you were up there with the six-hitters during the competition.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I had to do much mentally to really change up my game. Obviously, it would like to get a little more muscle and stuff to be able to clear the ropes a little more. That's always a little more helpful. But the boundaries at St. Kitts, they're not very, very big. So I know that I could clear them once I get the ball in the middle of the bat and I keep my shit, it will go. So that's what I was really focusing on, just trying to keep my shit and getting the ball out the middle of the bat.
Don't sell yourself short because there are a number of six-hitters who didn't clear those boundaries as often as they would have wanted. In fact, that was a point made by other observers as well. You know, some of the media big personalities watching the game and so on would have made that point. So don't sell yourself too short there.
Yeah, what I would say, at the beginning of the tournament, the groundsman had a lot of grass on the wickets. It was like some thick, puffy grass. And I think that made it very hard for batting in terms of middling the ball and stroke play and stuff like that. But as the tournament went along, they shaved down some of the grass. And obviously, from the wear and tear, the matches played on it, the grass deteriorated and it got easier for batting then. Stroke play was a lot easier. So I think that really helped coming onto the back end of the tournament.
An overall average of 44 in T20 cricket. Quite phenomenal. Do you believe this is something that you'll be able to maintain?
Hopefully I'll be able to maintain it. But as I said, my role is not really to come out and just to hit the ball to all parts. I'm just mainly there to hold the innings together and to just take it along. But I find that also with taking it along and just rotating the strike, I tend to pick up boundaries a lot easier than most batsmen playing in that role. So that's why I find myself to be excelling in that role. So it's just for me to get a start, give myself a chance, and hopefully anchor the innings. Or when it gets to a certain stage in innings where everything must go, then hopefully I could push the innings in the end. But yeah, that's basically my role.
I think it's fair to say that by comparison, by your own standards, the standards that you would have set, the last year or two in Test cricket have not really brought the productivity that you would have wanted. Do you see this as a means of maybe getting back to that type of form? In other words, is there any momentum, anything you can take from this T20 experience, this pleasing experience, that would help you, you believe, when you go back to the longer format?
Yeah, I believe it will help. I think that any cricket, once you get runs in any cricket, that will give you confidence, no matter the format, if it's T20, ODI. Once you leave that cricket, going into another format of the game, you'll still have that same confidence because, as I said, it's still all cricket. The time span may be different, but it's still all cricket. So hopefully, I can continue my form in this format, and whenever I get the opportunity to go in red ball cricket again, I can transfer that confidence and this form into that cricket as well.
Over 2 seasons of CPL, you are basically two full seasons. I know you would have played a couple of matches before. So if you look at your career in the whole, you are going at an economy rate of, I believe, less than 7. So your bowling is up there as well. What are the challenges of being an effective T20 bowler when for the most part of your career, you have been bowling in 4-day cricket and doing well also in test cricket?
I think for me, it's just to be consistent and line on your lines and lengths and to stay disciplined. Don't go searching because my role in the team as a bowler is not really to get wickets. I'm just there to slow down the runway or to keep it as tight as possible. And then I find in me doing that, that brings about the wickets, obviously, because it's a game where batsmen are looking to score. So once you put them under some pressure, they will then rely on that big shot. And sometimes that's hit or miss. So once you create that pressure, I then think that that's how you will get wickets. So as you see, I'm not a big wicket taker. I don't be up there with the leading wicket takers. But my economy rate is okay. So this thing is for me to just keep on finding a way to build that pressure, working out what are the batsman's strengths and weaknesses fairly quick and just bowl to that.
Well, you're on the subject of test bowling on 1-day and T20 bowling, though, your teammate, Raheem Cornwell, now I know that you're not Raheem Cornwell, I know you're not the captain of the team, but you can see, based on what has been happening on the field, that you are a senior man in the whole scheme of things. So Cornwall doesn't bowl in T20 very often. Why is that?
I just think that is kind of his trajectory. I think he gives a ball a little too much flight. So the captain doesn't really go with that style of bowling, especially at the ground that we were playing at. Probably if the ground was a little bigger, you probably go with him a bit more because he's really spins the ball. But I just think that we thought that he may give the ball a little bit too much flight at times, so we didn't thought that was the right kind of style of bowling for this ground.
Let's look back very quickly at the Kings on the whole. You would have reached the finals for the second year running. In fact, the St. Lucia franchise, the 2 different names. How painful was it really to get the silver medal for the second straight year?
Yeah, last year obviously it was painful, but I think this year it was more painful than last year. Obviously because it was the second time in a row, and obviously how the game played out. Last year, when it got to a certain way, it was more than likely thinking that we would lose because Trinidad had the game under control. But this year, we always thought that we were in it, coming down into those final overs. But obviously, Dominic Drakes, he played a hell of a hand. Kudos to him. So yeah, for him to take the game away from us at the last ball was very heartbreaking.
You're over yet?
Well, yeah. I had my time to reflect on it. Where I thought we could have improved in that game, where some different strategies that we could have gone with. So yeah, I'm over it. I'm looking forward to next year.
But before we leave it though, did you give any thought to putting your hand up to bowl that last over? I think you have no left.
No, I never thought that I was going to bowl the over. We always thought that it would have been more difficult for the batsman to get away the seamers on that particular day, on that pitch. Mm-hmm. So me and Fletcher was always discussing, but if I may say something, we thought that Azari was going to bowl either the 19th or the 20th over, but he didn't bowl either. We ended up going with Keswick Williams for the last. I thought he bowled, although he didn't defend the nine runs. I thought he bowled a brilliant over.
I thought he bowled quite well too, although personally, if you're not going to go with yourself, and I said that given the fact that I'd seen you bowl in similar situations last year in the competition, but I recognize and accept your explanation about the conditions on the day being more practical for the seamers. So really, I think many people, including myself, would have gone with Azari Joseph.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it was, but Fletcher just say he had a feeling, he had a gut feeling, and he was the captain, so there's nothing he could do about that. And he just had a feeling that Keswick would have done something special, so he went with it.
I've got a feeling that you're going to do very well at the World Cup. What would you say to that?
I don't like to say that I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, but obviously as a cricketer and as a professional sportsman, you're always looking to do well. No one is ever going out there to fail and stuff like that. But I had a good tournament, so my confidence is pretty high. So it's just for me to go there and fit in the team as fast as possible. Obviously, I've never been in a T20 setup before. So
you mean at the international level?
Yeah, at the international level. So probably just have to adjust to the team environment a bit, and then it's just for me to just trust my process, back my blueprint in terms of how I play my T20 style, and hopefully once I do it to my best of my ability, I can put West Indies in a good chance to win games and to ultimately win the tournament.
And just before you go, how disappointed are you that you're not going to get a chance to, get some local cricket? And we know the reality that exists right now and exists many places. But you're a professional cricketer and you want to play cricket. How difficult is it to deal with that? There's no local cricket right now.
Yeah, well, it's more disappointing, like looking onwards to the more local cricketers. I know how hard it may be for them to not be getting any cricket, but I think that is more for the younger guys coming up to showcase their talent. Probably I would play a one or two game if the club really needs me, but especially with this COVID situation, you being on the road in the bubbles and stuff like that. When I come back home, I just more like to just have some time to relax because it's really taxing on the body, obviously playing cricket back to back like that. So when I come home, it's more a relaxation kind of period for me. So I'm not really too disheartened that myself wouldn't be playing first division, but more so like my club mates and the other guys around the island that would be looking forward for some cricket.
While you're on that subject though, just very quickly, there's that feeling that having players like yourself, the experienced players around, you probably would have experienced as a youngster and having experienced players around, even sometimes if you're not actually playing in the game, but being around. How important is that really? Because yes, you're tired and you're not going to play in every game, but do you see that interaction as something that is critical to the development of those younger players, having a senior person like yourself, play from time to time?
Yeah, I see it as very critical. It's always good as a youngster to have someone who's played at the highest level or the level that you're looking to aspire to be around, to tell you some things that may have gone at that level. You know what I mean? Just to give them an insight of what is expected of them or the stuff that you have to go through when you get there. So yeah, the guys, when they come back, the guys always welcome me with open arms. Always want a story or two. So yeah, I just like to help out the guys in any way possible.
Roston Chase, congratulations once again, the player of the tournament, and all the best to you and the West Indies team as you set off for the World Cup in a few weeks.
All right, thanks a lot.